you think of the new intro? I don't know how I feel about it. Tell me if you guys hate it or like it. Like, it's a Frank Ocean song and I really like that song, but it's like 30 seconds. So I'm just like, may as well put some of it in my intro. I don't know. So yeah, let me know what you think of that intro down below. If you are not new to my channel, if you are new to my channel, then you're probably like confused, but hey, subscribe while you're here. Anyways, yeah, so welcome back to my channel, or welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about how I got to be on Degrassi and other TV shows, how I used to like do a lot of background acting and how I used to do some acting, but I won't really get into that much. Today I'm basically just going to be doing like a story time slash how to, so it won't be one of my more like super funny entertaining story times, it'll be more of like a informative one. So I'm just going to tell you about my experiences being an extra, or a background actor as they call it. I'm gonna tell you how to get into that part of the industry if that's something that you're interested in. And yeah, if you find this video helpful or if you do enjoy it, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and leave some comments down below on what you want to see next. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you from the beginning to the end, like all the details. So I got interested in the idea of being an extra because there was this girl that I followed on YouTube, and her name at the time was That Sophia Kid, and now she goes by Classes Internal, and she used to do like acting things, exercise, how to get into the industry, all that stuff. So I was like obsessed with her channel. She had like no views at the time, but I was obsessed, and she was from Toronto, and I used to see her on Instagram. She was always on set at Degrassi, and I was like, bitch, I need to be there. I kind of gave up on acting and I got more into modeling and like other stuff, and because of that, I decided like, okay, like I can't be a main on Degrassi. I may as well get the next best thing, get to be on set, get paid for it, and become an extra. So I followed That Sophia Kid's advice, and what I did is I got myself a background talent agent. So the one that I was with is called TFX. I contacted TFX, I sent them my measurements, I sent them my acting resume, I sent them my headshot. They got back to me and they told me that they're interested in working with me, blah, 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 blah. At the time I was broke. I was in like grade 10, I think, or maybe even late grade 9. I was young, and they said that the startup fee was like $100, and then you had to pay like $25 to register on their casting site called BG for Hire, which is where all the casting directors contact the agent and they say, hey, I like this girl from your roster, can you get her to come to Degrassi this Friday, right? Because they put your pictures up and blah, blah, blah. So I paid for the $25 for BG for Hire. Well, my mom paid for it. I asked my agent, Ramin, that was his name, and I'm like, listen, man, I'm a broke ass bitch. Can you take the $100 out of my first paycheck? Because I don't have money. And he agreed, which is not something that they usually do, but he did agree. So my first paycheck was like 100 and something. So he took the $100 out of that and I was signed up. So my first day on set was for a TV show. No, it was for a movie called Silent Witness. It was the worst fucking day of my life. I was called to set for like 4 p.m. and I left at like 2 something in the morning, maybe 3 in the morning. It was horrible. It was cold. I was playing like a track runner and I had to run with shorts and like a track shirt for like 2 hours, like back and forth in the cold. And then I had to like dress up in 80s gear and be like a spectator and like just like cheer on the football game and all that for like another 4 hours in the cold. And they fed us lunch, and the lunch was trash. It was like corn, beans, rice, muffins. It was just like a really cheap meal. And I'm surprised that this first experience did not completely turn me off of background acting, because I'm telling you, that was like one of the worst days of my life. But I got better from there. So how it works is your agent is gonna send you a text or an email. They send it to everyone in the roster and they say, hey, Degrassi, for example, Degrassi's filming this Friday. If you are interested and available for the entire day, please respond and let me know so that I can book you for the day. Then you say, hey, yeah, I'm available, I'll definitely be there. And then they say, okay, cool. So they don't give you the actual information, like when the call time is, until the night before for the most part. Every single time I ever worked on set, they told me the night before where I was gonna be, what time I was gonna be there, what stuff I had to bring, all of that stuff, okay? So I was doing it on a Friday that time. So I used to always skip school. I missed like 1 or 2 days a week for a long time because I was always getting called to set. I don't know why my parents let me do it, because they were so strict. I can't believe they even let me, but yeah, my mom used to bring me and she'd pick me up, and she would never do that today. But told me on the Thursday night around 6 o'clock in the evening, they send the email out and they say, okay, so you're gonna be shooting Degrassi tomorrow at Epitome Studios, address is blah, 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 blah. Your call time is 7 in the morning. Please bring blah, 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 blah. Have your hair casual, not too much makeup because we want you to look like a student. The name of the episode is this, 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 and yeah. So then you get that email. They say like, say yes to confirm that you're gonna be coming. So you just say like yes or whatever. And yeah, so the next day on Friday, that was my first day at Degrassi. I was like fucking pumped because I was like, oh my God, this is the show I've been watching for like fucking 10 years and I'm gonna be on the set. Like, you have no idea how excited I was that first time. I got my mom to take pictures of me. Like, it was just like so exciting, I remember. So the next day, I wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and I wake my mama up and we get down to Scarborough, which is just outside of Toronto, and we have to drive there. Traffic is really, really bad to Scarborough because that highway is a mess. So getting to Scarborough used to be a pain in the ass, but it was worth it. We get to Epitome Studios and you just have to check in by giving them like your social insurance number and your agency name and your first and last name until you sign in, and then they unlock the doors once they confirm. They bring you in. My mom walked me in that first day because I was a little baby. I was like 15 years old and or maybe 16, and I get to set and I have no idea where I'm going, and we go up the stairs. There's all these signs like background holding is here, and we get to the holding room. So the holding room is basically a big room with a bunch of couches. They had couches lining the walls, couches in the middle. Then there was like a buffet table with like amazing muffins. Degrassi had the best muffins, okay? With amazing muffins, cookies, coffee, tea, peanut butter, jelly, bread, all of that stuff. So they just had a table filled with like morning snacks because it was so early. So like breakfast, you can say, if you missed it. They had a water cooler. You have to line up, or if there's no line, if you're early like I always was, you go to the front and you say, hey, can I get my voucher? A voucher is basically a thing that you fill out. It's like a piece of paper. I think I have put one here. So it's like a piece of paper, and you basically put your social insurance number, the name of the episode, the number of the episode, the name of the show, the name of the studio, your name, your background, agency name, and stuff like that. And then you fill that out, you hold on to it. If you lose it, you're fucked, because at the end of the day, when you finish, you have to write down what time you finished, and then they sign it off for you, and that's how you get paid. If you lose your voucher, you're not getting paid. You don't get the signature from the people from Epitome or whatever the studio is until the end of the day. So yeah. Another thing about this is that if you leave halfway through the day, you don't get paid. So you cannot leave. You gotta make sure that your entire day is available, because you cannot leave. Even if it's a 14-hour day, you can't leave. And if you leave, they don't sign off your voucher, and if you don't get your voucher signed off, you don't get paid and your agent doesn't get paid, and if that happens twice, you get kicked out of the agency. So never happened to me. I always got paid because I was about my money, honey. So then, yeah, you're in the holding room and they keep you there until they're ready to get you to set. So what they do is they just let you sit there. You have Wi-Fi, you have your phone, you have your laptop, you have internet, you have your study notes, you have whatever you have with you. You bring whatever you want with you because you're gonna be sitting there and getting paid to sit there. It's amazing. So let's say call time's 7 in the morning, but the actual time of filming begins at like 10 o'clock in the morning. You'll sit from 7 to 10 on a comfortable couch full of a bunch of people that you're now friends with, because you start talking to people because you're all into the same stuff. So you start talking to people around you. You have outlets, you have Wi-Fi, and you're just like chilling, talking, using the internet, eating muffins, drinking tea and coffee, and you're getting paid. So I never minded being in the holding room because I was getting paid and it was a beautiful thing. So you sit there for maybe 3 hours, an hour, 2 hours, 15 minutes, whatever. Then they say, okay, we need all the background actors to set now, blah, 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 blah. So then one person will gather all the people up that they want, because sometimes not all the actors are coming with you. It's just like 15 of you. So usually we go down the stairs, through the locker room, then we get to like the main hallway of Degrassi, which is like where like the office is and like all the trophies and like just like that main area of Degrassi. And then you'd be kind of standing around, and then the people would be like, okay, I want you three to go stand over there, pretend to have conversation. Then they'll send whoever you're like standing around, they'll send you three over there. And then they'll be like, okay, I want you two to put your backpack on your right arm or just walk in the background every time you hear Drew say this. Okay, I want you two to sit down here and pretend you're taking selfies. And then they just kind of tell you what to do. Some people are alone, some people are with people. So yeah, I would usually try and stand around people that I could see myself being friends with. I know that sounds weird, but sometimes I can see the vibe off of someone and be like, hey, you look cool, maybe I'll get along with you. I'd stand around them so that they'd be like, okay, you four, go over there and pretend to have conversation. So then we'd all go there, and then we'd all stand there like, hey, like, what's your name? What agency are you with? Blah, blah, blah. And we talk while they're setting everyone up. And then they're like, okay, so we need all the actors to set. They get the main actors in. So they'd start coming in, and then they'd do their lines, and then they'd tell you, okay, you guys are gonna talk in the background. When you hear Drew and Allie talking, that's when you start to walk away, blah, blah, blah. So when you're on set, you have to mouth words. They don't like when you whisper, you gotta mouth. Or some people, if they were shy, they'd just be like saying the names of vegetables over and over again, but they'd be mouthing it. Yeah, so you have to look people in the eye and like mouth words to them. So when you don't know them, it's really fucking awkward. At least for me it was, because I'm like shy and like I'm really awkward. So I would feel very awkward like looking someone dead in the eye and being like, if you're too extra, they get mad at you. You need to fucking tone down. But they just want like casual small talk, you know? So then you do that, you pretend that you're laughing, blah, blah, blah. And then in between takes, you just kind of talk to them every now and then, and you get more comfortable. And by the end of the day, you're friends with these people. You exchange Twitters, phone numbers, Facebooks, whatever, and you have a blast. You end up having lunch with them, which is another thing. So lunch is paid for. Lunch is delicious. At Degrassi, they had the best lunch. First, they'd serve you the snack, so that would usually be like a chicken sandwich or like a hot dog or something like that. Their chicken sandwiches were bomb. Their samosas were bomb, and I don't even like samosas at all. I only like the ones from Degrassi. So they'd serve you a snack, and then they'd serve you lunch, and you're free to leave the building for an hour if you want, or you can just go to the buffet. They have everything there. They have chicken cordon bleu, they have salmon, they have potatoes, they have macaroni and cheese, they have spaghetti, like they have everything. Their freaking buffets were amazing. And then they had like cheesecake, fudge brownies, cookies, desserts, pop. Like they had it all. They had it all. And you have an hour to do whatever you want. So like usually in that hour, I would either go off by myself and like roam the school and just like look at everything. I'd go to like the Dot Cafe and see what it looks like from the outside. I'd go all around the school wherever they weren't filming, because if they caught you walking around when they were filming something in that spot, you'd get in shit. They have like an Eaton Center, which is a mall in Toronto. They have like a spot in Degrassi that looks just like Eaton Center, which was really cool. They just have like neighborhoods and like houses and stuff, and they're not real houses and shops where you can't open the doors. It was just really cool. It was like Universal Studios. It was just so fucking cool. So I would walk around, or if I had friends that I liked enough to chill with, I'd have lunch with them. We'd take pictures together, all that shit. I really wish that I was doing YouTube or something at the time, so I would have like vlogged myself or something, but I didn't, and I can't find my pictures because they were on my BlackBerry. I have a couple. I'll put them at the end or something. I don't know, maybe I don't know. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So you'd have lunch, and then you get called back to the holding room, and you kind of wait around until they call you back to set, and then you do your thing again. And let me tell you, one fucking annoying thing is that when you're on set, an actor's filming a scene that's a 30-second scene, it takes like 2 hours to film. It was just the most frustrating thing. You'd have to hear like Drew say the same line like 100 times, and you're just like, why do I have to listen to this? I'm so bored. Like, you guys did it perfectly, and like you hear it and you're like, there's nothing wrong with the way that they're saying it, but then the casting directors and the producers and all them, they're just like, nope, do it again, do it again, do it again. They're just like, oh. Another time I was filming like a school dance scene, and it was like prom or something, and we had to dance to the song I Don't Care, I Love It over and over and over again. And now I hate that song because they played the same 15 seconds of the song over and over again for maybe 5 hours, and I had to slow dance with some guy who was shorter than me. Another time I did another show, I think it was Lost Girl. I was at a club, and that was my first time at a club, obviously, and we just had to dance and like hold drinks, and I was like 16, and I was tall, so that's why they called me. And yeah, I just had to keep dancing and holding my drink for like 3 hours. Another time I did a funeral for Degrassi, and we had to keep walking in and out of the church, like over and over and over again. And the actors were like crying that day, and as soon as their scene was over, they were just like, oh, God, I need to smoke so bad right now. It was so funny. Like, you just see them and they're like in character, and then they're like laughing and like completely different. But yeah, those were my experiences basically on set. Like, I have so many stories, but like I don't want to make this video too long because it's already really long. But now just briefly getting into how to do it. So I kind of gave you like the rundown of it, but I'm just going to tell you a little bit more detail as to how to get into it. So the first thing you have to do is you have to get some decent headshots. If you have a friend with a professional camera, that's fine. Just make sure that they're clear, they're nice, like they're good pictures of you. Head to toe shots, portrait, all that stuff. Like, just get some good pictures of you. They don't have to be professional by any means. Second thing you have to do is create an acting resume. So if you've been in any theater productions in your neighborhood, even if they're just like local, or if you've been in like a school play, like something like that, or if you took a drama class, then put that on your resume. Like, just make it up if you don't have it, because I was never in Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat in 2009, okay? But my resume said that I was. Make it up. or take a class and create that acting resume. Just Google acting resume templates online and you will find it, I swear. Third thing you have to do is to gain some knowledge on the industry, figure out if it's right for you. Check out the different background agencies in your neighborhood. Make sure that it's a background specific agency, because otherwise you're gonna be auditioning for stuff, and background stuff you don't have to audition for. You just like go straight in and it's easy. I got paid at the time $11.25 an hour, and at that time when I started I was young, so my minimum wage would have been like 9 something, so I was making a lot more than the people that had jobs around me, and it was great. Oh, and another great thing, you get paid for a minimum of 8 hours no matter how many hours you work. Okay, so if you work 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. If you work for 9, you get paid for 9. If you work for 14, you get paid for 14. But if you work less than 8 hours, you still get paid for 8 hours. So one time I was like a cheerleader and I was like a main extra kind of thing. So I got to like mouth words like right into the camera with the people. I got to wear a cheerleading outfit. I got to get my makeup and hair done. Like it was really cool. Like I felt so nice because only 3 of us were cheerleaders. So yeah, anyways, that day I was only on set for an hour and a half and I got paid for 8 hours. So that's just like a great thing about it. I used to love that because if I was on set for like 4 hours, I'd go home with 8 hours worth of pay. Another thing is that you wait for paychecks to come in, so they don't have direct deposit, at least at the time they didn't. So you do your voucher thing, you sign off your voucher, and your agency takes a cut out and sends you the remainder of the cut in a check form, and they mail it to you, and it comes 3 weeks after production. So for me that wasn't a problem because I was working every week, so I'd have a paycheck coming in like every week or more than one. But if you're hardly on set, then I wouldn't recommend it for you because it's like you don't know when your pay is coming and you might have to wait a long time. So yeah. Okay, so number 4, sorry, I got sidetracked there. Number 4 is to make sure that you have a way of getting there and back and to get there on time, because the thing is you can get kicked out of your agency if you are not on time because they mark it down every time. I was always early. It's something that you don't know what time it's gonna be. You don't know when it's gonna be. They just call you randomly, email you randomly. So just make sure that you have a good way of transportation and make sure that your entire day is available. There is no way in hell that you can make plans for that day because you don't know how long you're gonna be filming. You don't know. Like it can be a 4-hour day or it can be a 13-hour day. And like I said, if you leave, you're not getting paid. So you gotta keep your whole day available. Make sure to do that. That's like my number 1 tip, like keep your day available. Okay, so yeah, just if you're looking for some background work, just Google search background talent agencies Toronto, insert city there, you know what I mean? Like whatever your city is, and you will find them. Look up the reviews too, just to be sure that like, you know, they're not a scam, but they never are usually scams. Be prepared to pay an upfront fee because that's how they are. Most agencies aren't. Principal acting agencies don't charge you that startup fee, but background acting agencies do, so don't be afraid of that. That's fine. Yeah, so that's basically how I got to be an extra on Degrassi and a bunch of other shows and movies. I had the time of my fucking life. I made so many friends. I made some good money for the age that I was because bitches weren't making that much money at that age. And I had fun. It was so much fun. I wish I could do it now, but I just don't have time for it anymore. But it was so much fun. If you are in high school, I absolutely recommend it. As long as your parents are allowing you to skip school. Don't know why mine were, but yeah, because it's always during the day. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want any other stories or information on how I used to do acting or like getting into acting or even modeling, because I know some information on that, let me know. I will post some videos on it, and as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I hate that outro so much. I hate having to say that. I really do. Like, just fucking subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, don't. But like, I just feel like I have to say it. Why am I going on a speech about it? Okay, yeah. So, do all that shit. Thank you for watching and stay cute. Bye, guys.